אבינו מלכינו, קלה כל צער ומסתיר מעלינו.
Hello everyone. This particular holiday of Hanukkah has within it a challenge that I don't believe previous generations had to deal with. And that is, if you're saying Avinu Malkeinu, do you say it before Hallel? Or does Hallel come first? The normative rule in these situations is Tadir v'she'ino tadir, tadir kodem. Whatever's more frequent comes first. But we don't say Hallel every day. We also don't say Avinu Malkeinu every day. So in terms of the amount of time you say it every year, maybe one wins the other, but they're pretty in for a close tie. So what should we do? We don't even have a precedent to look to. After giving it some thought, I believe that Avinu Malkeinu should come first and then Hallel, for the following reasons. A, you could push off Hallel, but we never ever push off Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu is always said right after Chazarat HaShatz. Hallel could be pushed off in the following cases. A, if you daven before sunrise, you can daven Shachris from Alot HaShachar, you can put on Talis Tefillin and say Shema from a time called Mishiyakir, and you could say Avinu Malkeinu. But, says the Maharsham, Hallel should only be said after sunrise because, as the Pasuk says in Hallel, Memizrach Shemesh ad mevuo mehulal Shem Hashem. When do you praise God's name? From the time that the sun is in the east, namely sunrise. And therefore, precedent number one, if you daven before sunrise, you push off Hallel, but you don't push off Avinu Malkeinu. Number two, the Maharsham also allows pushing off Hallel if, say, a lulav and etrog is not available on Sukkot when you're about to say Hallel. So you daven Chazarat HaShatz, you read the Torah, you daven Musaf, and then you say Hallel with the lulav and etrog. Again, a precedent of pushing off Hallel, no precedent for pushing off Avinu Malkeinu. Number three, the Aderet, who was the father-in-law of Rav Kook, paskins that it's better to push off Hallel if you think people will talk to after Kaddish Titkabel. Usually we say Chazarat HaShatz, Hallel, Kaddish Tiskabel. But you're not supposed to talk before Kaddish Tiskabel, and that's very difficult in most shuls. And therefore, he says, in order to save the people from this Aveira of talking, push off Hallel to after Kaddish Tiskabel, so thus they won't talk before Kaddish Tiskabel. And number four, even though some disagree, the common minhag is that if an Avel is davening, he davens on Rosh Chodesh Shachris, and someone switches him for Hallel, basically saying that they're not interconnected. Had they been interconnected, we wouldn't be able to split them up. We don't split up Avinu Malkeinu from Chazarat HaShatz, but here we do have a precedent where we do split them up. As a matter of fact, Rav Moshe Feinstein says, point positive, the time of davening is 4 hours into the day. If you missed it, you have to make it up at Mincha. It's davening the Amidah twice. Hallel, on the other hand, its time is all day, so it's not governed by the time of Shachris, again, splitting between the two. Suffice it to say, because of all these reasons, I believe that Avinu Malkeinu, we never separated from Chazarat HaShatz, and therefore it should be said right after Chazarat HaShatz. Hallel potentially can be separated, even when you daven, either when you daven too early, people may talk, lulav and etrog not being there, or if you have an Avel davening, and therefore that could be pushed a little further down the line to after Avinu Malkeinu. After saying these four halachic reasons, I believe that misvara, to explain it in terms of its reason, Avinu Malkeinu is an additional tefillah. After all, the Gemara says that once upon a time they were praying for rain didn't come, and therefore Rabbi Akiva got up, davened Avinu Malkeinu, and there was rain. In other words, Avinu Malkeinu is additional tefillah, it's additional bakasha, it's additional request. Hallel is shevach v'hoda'ah. Hallel is not tefillah in the sense of request. Hallel has in it mainly praises. Yes, there's Ana Hashem Oshiana and whatnot, but it's very, very amorphic. There isn't a specific request. Here, on the other hand, when it comes to Avinu Malkeinu, there is a request. So Avinu Malkeinu is a tefillah. Hallel is more of a shevach v'hoda'ah, a praise and a thanksgiving. And therefore, Avinu Malkeinu should be said as a tefillah right after the regular tefillah. Hallel can be pushed down the line. I'll also add that I believe that just like we have a Tanit Esther before Purim, saying, God, we wouldn't have gotten to Purim if not for Tanit Esther, if not for the fast that the Jewish people fasted way back when. The same thing is true regarding Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu is indeed asking God to give us this and to give us that, so that we be healthy and well to celebrate Hanukkah with Hallel. And therefore, in terms of chronology, I believe that Avinu Malkeinu should come first. So to sum up, we have no precedent of separating Avinu Malkeinu from Chazarat Hashatz. We do from Hallel, and therefore Avinu Malkeinu should be said right after Chazarat Hashatz. Hallel can be pushed down the line.